Morning, everybody. Today I was studying in Genesis chapter 8, and I found something interesting about, I find something interesting every day, to be honest with you. I mean, anytime you read scripture, if you don't find something interesting, read it again. And I might make one exception in Leviticus, but that would be the only exception. So I was reading in Genesis chapter 8, and one of the interesting things that I realized about Noah is the level of faith that he had. Noah had to get on a boat with his family and a bunch of animals, and he had to ride on that boat for something like 5 months as the flood both proceeded and receded. And so he's on this boat with his family. Of course, one of the hard parts is that he had to know that everybody else and everything else outside the boat was drowning. That's got to really mess with your mind, right? And even though those people made fun of him and they talked down to him, I'm pretty sure he was not happy that they were drowning. Noah had to be a man of God. He did a lot of sacrifices, and it says that Noah actually walked with God. So if Noah walked with God, I mean, he must have had an awesome relationship with him, which means that he loved people. And if he loved people, then I'm sure what happened was not something that he enjoyed, or something that just went by without him really having an emotional response to. But when Noah gets off the boat, what struck me is the first thing he did was he gave a sacrifice. He gave a sacrifice to thank God for the grace that God had given him. He had been saved. Out of all the people on the earth, Noah had been saved. And Noah knew it. And because of that, he gave thanks to God in a way that he knew how to give ultimate thanks to God. He took the creatures that he had that were clean, which means he had multiples of them, and he sacrificed them on an altar to God. I don't know that we often think about the grace that we've been given in situations, and do we properly give thanks to God where it's due? Do we realize the grace that we've been given, that Jesus paid the price for those things, not only that we have done, but those things that we will do? The grace that says that when we die, that we are even allowed to go into heaven, to live with God, to be with God. That's something maybe we don't recognize the fullness of that grace. And I think if you take it a step further and you look at the life around you, the grace that you have just in your day-to-day walk, the fact that God cares that much about you, that he would put you on that ark. And I think the blessing really is to hear God's response. God smelled the incense of that fire, and it was a blessing to him. You see, not only was God able to bless Noah, but Noah was able to bless God. Are you blessing God by thanking him for the grace that you have? Are you blessing God in the sense that you are sacrificing to him? And I don't mean animals. I mean the things that you care about and the things that you think are important. Are you sacrificing them to God to say, thank you for the grace you've given me? My time is yours. My money is yours. My home is yours. My family is yours. All of it. I just see how God responds to Noah's sacrifice. And I see why Noah does it, to give thanks to God for what God has done and giving him grace. And I think, am I thanking God? And am I grateful for the grace that God has given me? As you walk through your day-to-day, ask yourself that. The different situations you go through, are you being thankful? Are you blessed by God for the grace that he's given you? That's what God gave me this morning. Love you guys. God bless.